We're standing in front of the National Monument to the Forefathers. It is considered by some to be the largest solid granite monument in the United States. The 81-foot tall monument was dedicated in 1889, built to honor the passengers of the Mayflower. The tower memorializes the Pilgrims and the ideals that shaped their vision for society. The center is faith, pointing towards the heavens, surrounded by four figures representing morality, law, liberty, and education. The Pilgrims believed that faith and learning belong together with law, morality, and liberty. Truth could be pursued both through scripture and study. In today's modern university, that relationship is often disregarded, which brings us to the key question addressed by George Marsden in his 1997 book, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship. What role, if any, should Christian faith have in the modern university? Marsden's book just isn't a defense of Christian thought in the university. It calls for faithful engagement in intellectual life and scholarship. The central question raised by historian George Marsden in his thought-provoking book is, why are Christian perspectives often treated out of place in higher education? Marsden challenges the assumption that religious belief, with a focus on Christian belief, has no role in serious academic work. He argues that just as scholars are allowed to approach their field from feminist, Marxist, or postmodern perspectives, scholars should also be free to bring faith-informed views to the academy. Marsden suggests that religious perspectives ought to be recognized as legitimate in a pluralistic mainstream academy. At the core of his thesis is the assertion secularism in the academy is not neutral. He notes, quote, the norm for people to be fully accepted in academic culture is to act as if though their religious beliefs have nothing to do with education. Academia carries its own assumptions about truth, meaning, and knowledge. And excluding a Christian simple viewpoint simply because they are religious isn't intellectually consistent, especially when other value-laden perspectives are welcome. Marsden is not suggesting Christian scholars turn the university into a church or a pulpit. He clearly defines between devotional writing and rigorous Christian scholarship. He envisions thoughtful, disciplined academic work reflecting a Christian worldview, a work that engages the same evidence and standards as any other scholarship, but is faith-informed. He also reminds us that religion once played a central role in shaping the academic world, and the move to exclude it wasn't inevitable. It was a cultural shift. And if we truly have pluralism in higher education, Marsden would argue, then religious framework should be given a fair hearing too. Standing in the shadow of this monument, we're reminded that the ideas of faith, education, and moral convictions weren't just private virtues for the Pilgrims. They were foundational principles for building a society. George Marsden's call to integrate faith and scholarship echoes that same vision. A life of the mind shaped by faith.